Okay, so let's figure out what each of these letters stands for in the simple and compound interest formulas. So I, what do you think I stands for? Martin? Wow, how did you know? Okay, yes, interest. P, this one is the a little trickier, not as obvious. Okay, Martin. Principal, right? So not the principal at our school, but principal amount. So your initial amount, your investment amount. R, Kaden? Rate, right? The interest rate. All right. And T, Dina, what do you think T stands for? In investment. Okay. Sorry? Sorry. Time, right? That's it. I just couldn't hear because that thing dropped right as you were talking. She timed it perfectly. Okay. So those are for the simple interest formula. What about the A in compound interest? Okay, so that one is a little sure. Yeah. The A is not as obvious, so it stands for the amount at the end of the term. Did you find it? No. Oh. Amount at the end of the term. So the A. All right. P stands for the same thing. It stands for principal. All right. What about lowercase I? What do you think the lowercase I stands for? Ethan?
Oh, I don't really remember, but I think I know like roughly like something about like how many times per month or something.
Good. Okay, you have a good idea right here. Okay, so the I, it also stands for interest, but it's the interest rate. This one is the interest amount, so interest earned. And the I, right here, lowercase I, stands for interest rate. Right? So there is a difference between this R and this I right here. And in an example, we'll see what the two differences. And then here, instead of time, it's N. So the N is the term. Okay? Or you can think of it as the number of times you're paid throughout the term. Okay. And then some terminology to go over. So compounding terms, annually means once a year. Semi-annually means, Catherine?
Half a year.
Half a year or twice a year, so 2. What about quarterly then? How many quarters are in a year? 4, right. So 4 times a year. Right. Monthly. Adrina, how many months is in a year? 12, right. Bi-weekly, we talked about this yesterday. Bi-weekly is what number? Kaden? Right. So how many every 2 weeks are there in a year? 26. Good. Okay. Sarah, weekly, how many weeks in a year? 52. And Grace, how many days in a year? 365. So we don't care about leap year. It's okay. We just do those. Okay, so especially my ESL students, make sure you know these words. Okay, so let's try an example together. So Lucy, she invested $3,000 in a savings plan that pays simple interest at 3.5% for 4 years. How much will she have at the end of the term? So at the end of 4 years, she goes back to the bank and checks her balance. So how much will she have? So because the word simple interest is here, I know I'm supposed to use this formula. Right? So I equals PRT. So what's P? Con? what's P? Which is 3,000. Okay, times rate. What's the rate? 3.5%. So as a decimal, 0.035. So make sure you don't put 0.35. That would be 35%. And then for time, 4 years, so times it by 4. So does that mean at the end, when I go back to my bank account, I'm gonna see $420 as my balance? Sarah, why not?
Because that's just the interest when you add the interest to the principal.
Right. Okay. If you see 420, something is wrong. You started off with 3,000. Okay. So that's not a savings account at all if you end up with just 400. So remember the amount at the end is your principal plus the interest you earn. So at the end, you should save 3,420. So who says that's good money? Earning $400 in 4 years.
AML.
ASML. So who says that's good money? Who says that's bad money? Well, you guys have high expectation. Remember 0.055%? This is very good. If you get 3.5% for 4 years, it's very good. Think about it. You did nothing for 4 years and you got 400. All you did was leave your money in a machine.
I think I win like a prize here. Like there's like something on guidance, like $500. That's what it's now.
Oh. But what if you don't win?
We have like micro.
But what if you don't win?
It's like smart. And you don't win.
But this is guaranteed you get that 400. All right, so let's try example 2. So Daniel, on the other hand, he invests $2,000 in an account that earns interest at a rate of 2% compounded monthly. How much will he have at the end of 4 years? All right, so compounded monthly. The word compounded tells you we should use this formula. Okay, so let's plug in those numbers. A equals P times 1 plus I to the n. All right. So, Grace, how much did Daniel invest?
$2,000.
2,000, right? So 2,000. All right. 1 plus I. So here, the I, what's the interest rate right here? Ethan?
2%.
2%. But notice the word compounded monthly. So that 2% is how much they pay you yearly. That's an annual rate. So 2% for the whole year. But because they give you interest every month, what do you think you have to do to that percentage? I want to figure out how much percent per month. So what do? Divide it by 12. That's right. Okay. So that's why there's a difference between R and I in the formula. So R, that's just for the simple interest, that's just the annual rate, and you just put that. But for compound interest, because they say compounded monthly, that's why you have to divide it by 12, because they pay you monthly interest. Right? Now, 0.001666666666, do those trailing 6 matters? Yeah. Imagine you invest 1 million. Those 6s is going to be a couple hundred. Yeah, so make sure you put in all those. And then N is the term. All right. So I'm investing in 4 years, but how many times over those 4 years are they paying me? Yeah, so what do you have to do to it? Times it by 12. Okay. And then so you'll get that. So make sure, like with compound, this is the tricky part. A lot of people forget about this. They forget that I, you have to divide, and N, you have to times. All right. So if, let's say I change the question and says compounded quarterly, what would I divide here by? Con? If it's compounded quarterly? If it's quarterly, I would have to divide by, Melissa? 4 and times by 4. What if I say compounded daily? 365, 365. All right. The banks, they do compounded monthly. Okay. because they don't want to pay you interest every day. Doesn't make sense to pay every day. Your parents might charge you interest every day. All right. So wow, I earned 2,100 for at the end of 4 years. Is that right? I earned $2,100 worth of interest after 4 years. Too good to be true, right? How much did I actually earn? Yep, 166. That's because $2,000 was yours to begin with, right? So in 4 years, you got $166. How many of you say that's good money? Bad money. It's still money. Well, but in reality, that's typical. Right? Yeah.
I remember using a different formula for compound interest rate. It was like N over T or something.
Oh, this is what it is.
No, but this one's harder because this one you have to divide.
No, so in the formula that you guys did before, it was just embedded. So like this was I over T and N over T, but then in N times NT or something. But then instead we just do it on the side. Yeah, so it's actually the same formula. Sure, if that one works, sure. Yeah.
Wait, can we scroll through the formulas?
Yeah, you should get the same answer.
We need another formula.
Yes, you do. Yes. So you have to memorize those two formulas. Yeah.
Do we know the geometry formulas too?
No, no. Okay, so those of you who said $166 is bad money, what are a couple of ways that we could make more? What's one way to make more money?
Put more money.
Put more money. So increase the principal. Okay. What's another way? Yep. Longer term. Good. One more.
Just like put it in a different like type of savings.
Right. So why different type?
Because you get higher rate.
Perfect. Good job. So higher interest rate or longer term. So those three factors will help you earn more money. All right. And EQAO love asking this question.
Which one?
This one. Like what are ways to increase or decrease, and which way has the bigger effect? Okay. Okay. So now, how many of you think you'll get a car when you're 20 years old? No? Whoa. A lot of people in my morning class said they were gonna get a car. They were thinking like a Tesla. At 20. They like to daydream. It's still more early in the morning, so they're daydreaming. Okay, so let's say more realistically, how about when you're 25? How many of you think you'll have a car when you're 25? Yeah, because you have to get to work. Most of you will have to drive to work. All right. So which car? Which car are you thinking? Cheyenne, what car are you thinking? Okay. No car in mind yet? A truck, okay. Dina? Toyota, okay. So very realistic. You guys are are thinking reality. Adrina?
The Mini.
Oh, Mini Cooper is actually very expensive though. I think so.
It's a German car.
Yeah. All Europe cars are more expensive.
But they're so cute.
They're cute, but they're so expensive for their size. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not.
So okay, so we'll say by the time you guys graduate and turn 25, that Toyota that Dina was talking about is worth $33,000. All right. So Dina, do you think you'll have 33,000 saved up when you're 25 years old? Probably not. How much do you think you'll have? Well, that's actually really good already. Considering fresh grad, you have 15,000 already.
But if you work during like
Co-op,
yeah, or like
maybe
summer jobs, McDonald's.
McDonald's. That's gonna take a while. Okay, so let's just say, Dina, you only have $4,000, and you have saved up 4,000 out of that 33,000. Seems like far away, but not bad. All right, and you're gonna put it down as down payment. All right, this term is gonna come up a lot. Down payment. What's down payment? What's a down payment? You hear it a lot. Let's see, Misha, do you know what's a down payment? Right, yeah. So it's to pay down your principal, basically. That's what a down payment is. So if that car is worth 33,000, I'm gonna take that away because I have that money to pay up front. So that means the principal amount, the amount that I have to borrow, is just 29,000. All right. And as we said, banks charge you much more than they give you. So they're charging you 3.5% compounded monthly for 5 years. Okay. So using the compound interest formula, I is going to be 0.05, and I divide it by 12 because they're charging you interest every month. So you get 0.002916. Okay. Adrina, what do I have to do for N? Okay, so for how long are you borrowing the money for?
5 years.
5 years. And how often are they charging you interest? It's compounded monthly, right? So you have to times it by 12. So that means in that 5 years term, they're charging you interest 60 times. Okay, plug it all into the calculator. Okay, if your calculator shows you exactly what you're typing in, like these calculators that shows everything, then all you have to do is plug in all this into your calculator. You can just type everything in. If not, what do you have to do? BetMass. So 1 plus 0.002916666666. Put a couple of 6 in. Press the equal sign. You get 1.0029. Raise it to the exponent 60. All right. Press the equal sign again, and then times it by 29,000. Okay. And then you get this. What do I round this to? Sorry? How many decimal? 2 decimal places because we're talking about money. All right. So there you go. So that $33,000 Toyota, because of interest, Dina, you end up paying 34,537 for it. Does that seem good? Not really. All right. How much extra did you pay? So it was 33,000 and you paid 34,000, so you paid an extra 1,500. Okay. Sounds pretty good because you borrowed the money for so long. But is that right? Is that really the case? Dun dun dun. Kaden.
No, because you already paid down payment.
Because you paid $4,000. So how much was that car at the end? 38,537. So you paid an extra. So you paid an extra 5,500. All right. So who thinks that's like, whoa, that's a lot? I paid an extra 5,500 for interest, just in interest. Who thinks that's a whole lot? Yeah, considering that car is only 33,000, you paid 1/6 of it just on interest. Yeah. So that's the steering wheel right there. All right. So even though I have to pay that extra 5,000, I have to pay that extra 5,000. Why do people still do it?
Because you like get it for 5 years and you could just pay it off over time.
Okay, but still, that's a lot of money for 5 years. But why do people still do that? Why do people still borrow money? Con?
Because you could sell cars at the end.
Oh, because selling cars is always a loss. Yeah, it's a depreciation. All right. So why do you borrow, Grace? Why do you borrow money from the bank?
Because you can't afford it.
Right. So if you have to, you have to. So you don't have that 33,000, but you need a car to get to work, then that's all you could do. You have to borrow it. So if you think that's high, what are some ways that we could do to lower the cost? Yep.
Instead of 5 years, you could buy like 3.
Good. Okay. So lower the term, shorter term. All right. What else? What are other ways that we could pay less interest? Melissa? Pay more down payment. Good. So lower the principal with a bigger down payment. One more. Sarah, any idea how to lower that interest rate? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Lower the interest rate. All right. So if CIBC is offering you 3.5%, but RBC might do 2.5. So you want to go with a bank that offers lower interest rate. Okay. Last one right here, true or false? Higher interest is always bad. All right. So the last time I checked, there were like 25 of you guys in class. I want to see 25 hands. All right. So who says true? Higher interest is always bad. Who says false? Higher interest is not always bad.
Who's gaining the interest?
Sorry?
Who's gaining the interest?
Right. It depends who's gaining the interest. So it's false. If it's a savings account, is higher interest good? Yes. But what if you're borrowing money? Then higher interest is very bad. All right. So depending on the scenario, just like right here, example 2, Daniel was saving money. So higher principal, higher interest, longer term is good. But when you're borrowing money, like Jeff, lower principal, lower interest rate, shorter term. All right. So it's they're both called interest, but depending if you're on the borrowing side or the saving side, your answer is opposite. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so I know you guys are only grade 9 right now. You might not be thinking money sense so much, but this is one of the more valuable life lesson that you guys need to remember in the future. Okay. So for homework, it's page 33 and 34. Okay, these two, and I have the answer from yesterday's homework right here for page 30. This is yesterday's homework answers. Okay, if you wanted to do a quick check.